Yo.
Did I get it lit before you you turned on?
Yep. You were good. We're good.
Right
Oh,
on.
wait, is that a lighter in your hand?
No,
No, that's not.
no,
Come
it's
on,
my
man.
bottle. It's my water cup. So tonight, dude,
Dope.
I'm going no Delta until after the beef.
Ooh, so you're focused.
I don't know if I'm focused. That's
Well,
the
Delta
problem.
can help focus too, though, right?
I have no idea. I think Delta unfocuses me, and then my handwriting is garbage. You know what I mean?
true.
Like there's all this stuff about it that like because I've really been analyzing the Chino brothers recently, and I know it sounds super nerdy. I apologize to everybody who's paying attention, but what I'll do is we'll do the show. I'll edit the like 11-minute segments that we put on YouTube, but I'll analyze the whole show and be like, okay, this part was incorrect. This is what we need to do next. Okay, this part's incorrect. And so every day I'm always like kind of coming up with something new that we're going to do in season 3 and then how we can improve season 2. But one thing I'm thinking is maybe Delta's taking away from my vocabulary. So I'm not positive if that's true or not. So I'm going to try this episode, half no Delta. Then after I'm done with the beef segment and you're doing all the reading, then I'll do the Delta. You dig where I'm going?
Okay, I gotcha.
Because you read half, I read the first half and then you read the second half. So that's usually how it works. But yeah, off the air, you guys, me and Adley were talking about Vegas. And for everybody who's never been there, God bless you, because it can be a dud. But for everybody who has been there, then God bless you, because it can be fun.
I honestly think it's always fun, but it's always the trek home. You're just kind of like, oh, that was awful. What was I thinking? I spent way too much money. But I know somebody that got a job offer out there. Mike, you and I were talking about this is a while back now. But someone threw a job offer at me, and I was like, man, but it would just be so much trouble. When you came out to LA, was that 10 years ago when we went?
Oh, dude, the last time we went was before Cade was born.
So at least 10 years ago.
Yeah. And maybe we went. No,
because I was DJing the restaurant / club.
Yeah, once you got married, we never got to go to Vegas anymore. Like that was it. Your Vegas pass was revoked, and then now, well, so here's the thing: is that when me and Adley would see each other, because we live so far away from one another, the easiest way to stay up all night talking was to go to Las Vegas because it's open 24 hours a day. Then add to it that we're Asian, so we like gambling. And then California is only, like where we're from in California is only 5 hours away from Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. So the last time we went to Vegas, the time before that, so not the last time, but the time before that, I'd won a bunch of money. I kept winning all this. Yeah, I was playing this poker game. And it was a really neat 3-card poker game, and I'd figured out kind of how to hack like the way that you played, and I just kept winning and winning and winning. I was like so happy. Then the last time the two of us went, which I think was the last time I gambled, probably. I gambled one more time after this, but I lost so much money. I kept having to call Cheryl in to ask her if I could have more money. Like I lost $250. Yeah, I lost $250.
Was I there?
I didn't have a lot of money back then. You know what I mean? It wasn't like now, which now I don't gamble at all because there's not much in it for me. You know what I mean? I can lose a lot, but no matter how much I win, I probably could earn that because I don't play like crazy bets and stuff like that.
Yeah. But the one thing we did too was the 24-hour buffet. I don't even know if they do that anymore.
That was that time.
That was that time? And
Dude, it had to have been like 2009. How old?
Maybe it was. Yeah, he's 10 right now. So he might have been a baby though too. Maybe he was a baby.
No, because it was right after the last recession.
Okay.
So that's why they were doing that wristband, is because nobody was going to Vegas. So for everybody who doesn't understand what we're talking about, they had a 24-hour wristband. You bought this wristband, I think it was $40. Yeah. And then you got 24 hours of buffets. 24 hours of different buffets. And so me and Adley would go, we'd sit down, we'd eat one thing, we'd get up and leave. But Adley always felt guilty and he'd leave a tip. And I was like, I'm not tipping. I just got the food myself. You did every single one.
Buffets are weird. Yeah, throw down a couple bucks. But dude, it was smart though. Mike was smart about it because it was maybe 10 different properties.
I think it was 10 different.
There's a bunch of different ones like the Rio, I don't know, whatever they were. But there was
the Rio wasn't on it because the Rio has lobster.
Oh, the seafood and stuff.
No.
Paris was on it though.
Paris was on it.
Paris was legit. Dude, they're all pretty good. There were some dive ones too.
Yeah, there were some duds.
I'm pretty sure we hit at least 7 out of the 10.
I think we hit all of them, to be totally honest with you.
We tried. If we did,
yeah, because we'd eat at one, and then we'd walk to the next one, and we eat at one. This is how cheap and broke we were, by the way. Is that we'd sit down, we eat like a cupcake at the buffet. That's what we did. We walk around to see what the best was. And now I'm remembering this story even better. So me and Adlai, I don't know if you guys have ever watched any of our other episodes, and if you haven't, let me tell you a story. Adlai's at the end of his last radio career, meaning like right before he got back into radio, and then in the middle of that, he did all those crappy jobs, Hertz and Home Depot, all that. Yeah. And his radio station went black. So he went to work, and they're like, sorry, we're taking the radio station off the air. You should probably be telling that part of the story.
Yeah, that part. That was just like, hey, welcome to your last day. And you're like, what? They're like, yeah, we're shutting it off tonight at midnight or whatever. Like, oh, dude. Yeah, and it was right around the holidays, too. It was right around Thanksgiving.
Well, Merry Christmas.
I do, yeah, right around holidays, which is pretty standard when they lay people off like that or tell them.
Is that standard?
I feel like every time I've been laid off or whatever from radio, it's been 2 days before Christmas, and you're just like, ah, dude, I guess can't get.
Why would you do that to somebody?
That's mean.
Yeah, anyway, so Adlai gotten fired from his radio station because it went black, and then he calls me. He's like, yeah, dude, I got let go from the station, but I'm still doing these clubs with this guy, Oscar. And so, hey, Des, I hope that your doctor's appointment went well today, and I hope the doctor treats you and Brando with nothing but respect. That's Brandon's wife. They're pregnant.
Okay, fair.
So they had their first.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, they had their first doctor's appointment today. So I work for Brando over at the other shop. But let's get into this. But I do want to say this. One thing I'm blessed by in this life, and there's plenty I am blessed by, but one thing I'm blessed by is the way that Brandon treats Des. Because in my mind, I think if Des and Brandon hadn't found themselves, then how would have someone else treated Des? Because I promise you this, they wouldn't treat him as good as Brandon does. That dude, I'm telling you right now, bro, I have nothing but respect for that guy. I love that guy. Real quick, and then we'll get back to the Vegas story. Today, me and Brando were selling together, and we don't sell together very often because he's at that shop and I'm at my shop. In fact, we haven't sold together in forever. And I realized when him and I were behind the counter, it's the same feeling as when you and I were DJing. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same like fluidity, like we share a brain, like we know what each other are doing. It's really fun, man. And it's really neat. Cool. Yeah, it's really neat because he's young and teaching him the art of sales, teaching him the art of business. It's a lot of fun working with Brando, but obviously lots and lots of respect for Brandon, and obviously lots and lots of respect for Des. But anyways, let's get back to this. So now Adlai invites me down to Bakersfield, and he says, yeah, I'm doing a club. So I'm excited because I think the two of us are going to DJ this club, which we did, but it wasn't that exciting. So I roll up to this mall. For those of you who heard the story, I feel bad for you. I apologize. I'm repeating it, but we're going to.
It's awful enough to share again. It's bad enough to share again.
So I roll to this mall. I'm like, I gotta have the wrong address, man. There's no way this is the right address. I might have had like a GPS at the time. I don't even know if I did, but like I feel like I had to ask directions and stuff, And I show up, and there's this Mexican restaurant, and it's like they cleared all the tables, and people are dancing. And they're bumping like pop music and like
kind of reggaeton-ish kind of.
Yeah, reggaeton and but like also stuff you'd hear on La Pantera, like that type of stuff mixed in with it. Kind of like Saul used to do. Remember how Saul would play exactly.
Yeah, a little cumbia.
Yeah. So
Spanish flavor for sure.
Yeah, so I walk up, I have to take my hat off, which I'm like, I'm a DJ, I don't take my hat off. And then I walk up to the booth. And I say, hey, is Adlai here? I'm thinking, I don't know why. Adlai's playing this kind of music. I guess he's not playing hip-hop anymore. And they go, no, he's in the other room. And I went in the other room, which was about the size of the studio I'm sitting in right now. And it was like the side hallway. But anyways, Adlai and his ex-wife are there, which that's always fun to have your girlfriend with you when you're DJing, staring at you the whole time.
Making sure you don't talk to no girls. Sure, those were requests. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I went back to your house, and I called your ex-wife Regina. I thought her name was Regina, and she said, no, my name is Kristen. Everybody knows what your ex-wife's name is. And I said,
we're cool now.
And I said, oh, okay. And she said, who's Regina? She looked at Adelaide. I was like, I just got your name wrong. Yeah.
I probably didn't hear the end of that for 2 weeks.
Oh, then we drove
yeah.
to Vegas, and she's calling him the whole time. But we drove through the night, and then when we're getting there the next day, we both knew there was this 24-hour buffet, and I think it was $40. Do you think that's what it was?
I think it wasn't. It wasn't more than that.
Yeah,
because I don't think it would have sprung for more than $40.
You might be right. Yeah,
I don't think it would have paid more than that. Yeah.
So for $40, you got to eat for 24 hours, and I think it was 10 properties. I can't tell you for sure.
It was a bunch. It was a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we go, Ad says, "Hey, you want to play some video poker before we go up?" And I said, "All right," because if you play video poker, you get to drink for free. So we sat down, and Adlai orders 2 Mexican beers. And so, Adlai, you want to explain what those are for everybody who doesn't know what that means?
Was it the micheladas?
Yeah.
We actually ordered the micheladas.
You ordered 2 of them, one for you.
Oh yeah. So it's basically it's a Bloody Mary but with beer almost, because it's got like the clamato, it's got like the tahini seasoning and stuff, a lot of lime, but it tastes similar to a Bloody Mary to compare it to something. But dude, there was a phase where I love those things. I was going through that phase, I think, where I like those things. Oh, I gotta say, so to my brother, what's up, Uncle Bert?
Hello, good fun.
That's why we say honey, so we don't mess up the names. That's good. But yeah.
Wait, what did he say?
He said that's why we call our significant other honey.
Oh, that's not that's smart.
Yeah,
so we don't mess up the name.
You could have said, "Oh yeah, Adlai's honey."
I promise you this, Bert. There was no other, like, Adlai wasn't playboy, and like he's always been a loyal fella. I've never known him to mess around on a girl who he was serious about. But neither here nor there. Even when we were in radio. But neither here nor there. Yeah. So we drink these Mexican beers, and then Adlai's like, "I think I'm pretty full. I don't think I need my pass anymore." And I was like, "Nah, dude, we're getting these passes."
Okay, we hadn't bought them yet. Okay.
No,
okay.
we were waiting because like we'd walked up and we're like, should we get them? Should we get them? And we kind of wanted to like get them after like 12:30, so that way we'd still be able to get lunch somewhere on the next day afterwards,
and then get dinner.
Yeah,
and then get the next day. Yeah. You had to time it right.
Exactly.
Because once the clock's ticking.
Hold on, Gab said, "What's up?" Hey, Gab, I'm sorry I didn't come to the shop. I didn't come back to the shop today, bro. I Brando needed to take his time with the baby stuff, and you know, we want to make sure that Dez and Brando have good medical care. But anyways, so Adlai can't stay up as long as I can, and so we'd ended up at the Hard Rock Casino, and we were staying at the Flamingo, and I'm just gambling and gambling. I'm losing and losing and losing, and I'm so mad. And then finally, I sat down at that same 3-card poker table.
This is cards. This is real cards, or is this a machine?
Yeah, real cards.
This is okay.
Then the time I won all the money was on machines, and we were in Old Town Vegas. And that was also when we went to that. Adlai used to like to go to these grimy casinos in Old Town Vegas. I mean, the dirtiest places where you could get hepatitis C. Adlai was there. We went to this one. Oh my gosh! I think they had $1 blackjack tables, so Adlai want to go there. And I said, "Man, we're gonna get shot in this neighborhood."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh no, we'll be fine." We show up. And our barmaid, this lady must have been 65 years old. She's an old black lady, and her name was Betty. And she was bringing us tall boys of Bud Light. That's how unclassy this bar.
I think it was Pabst even. It was cans of Pabst Blue. It was really cheap beer. Yeah.
Yeah, but Adlai was getting tossed on these beers and screaming, "Betty! Hey, Betty!" like that when he wanted more beers. But that wasn't this trip. So we're at this casino, or I'm sitting down at the card table, and I got a flush. I'm like, "Oh, thank God." And so I said, "Hey, you got a bathroom around here?" And they said, "Why?" I said, "Because I got a flush." And I rolled it over, and I won $80 or $100, something. They kept me in the game. You know, I'd have to call Sherilyn and ask her for another $100 or whatever. So, do you remember this trip?
Vaguely. I must have been drunk.
Dude.
Vaguely.
You don't remember. That sucks that you don't
remember. Keep talking, though. There are parts that I remember, though.
So Adlai, he can't stay up as long as I can. And then I got a call from a friend of mine that I went to high school with. And he was like, "I'm in Vegas too." So me and Adlai went over and saw him. And it was a bunch of teachers. It was my friend Eric Rogers, and John Flores was there. And then
that was at the Orleans.
Yeah, that was at the Orleans, exactly.
I remember that.
And we had like drink coupons for there. But these guys were nerds. They just wanted to stay at that casino and eat at the food court in the casino and then sleep in the casino. That was their idea of a wild trip in
night
Vegas.
Out.
A wild trip. And Flores was like, "Can I go with you guys?" And we're like, "Nah, bro, sorry. You're with those cats, homie. That's on you." But anyways, yeah. So I end up at the Hard Rock. This is after we went to the Orleans. We end up at the Hard Rock, and Adelaide is fading, and I'm like, "Bro, come on. We only got like 3 more hours, and the buffet opens. Then we'll crash." And Ad's like, "Nah, bro, I don't got it." So you walk back to the hotel to the Flamingo, and I finally lose like almost everything, but like maybe $20 or $30. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so angry. And the time before, I just won so much that I was like, "Here, Ad, I got you. Don't worry about it. You want dinner? I got you, boom, boom." Because I kept winning, you know. That's the worst, because when you start winning, you think you know how to gamble, but you effing don't.
Totally
yeah,
true.
No one effing knows how to gamble. I don't effing care. Like, dude.
Dude, that's so true.
Fudging hate it, dude. I hate gambling. But yeah, and obviously I have an addiction, so like now I don't gamble. But anyways, so now I'm like, man, you know, I'd never really been up in the trip. I remember by the time we left Prim, I was calling Sherilyn. Like we left Prim, Nevada. You know that crappy
the border,
town
right at Nevada,
when you're
Nevada,
coming
California.
In?
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
I had to call her then to ask for more money. That's how bad it was. So anyways, yeah. So now I'm leaving the hotel or the Hard Rock, and I'm trying to find the Flamingo because I'm depressed and I don't have any money, and Adelaide's sleeping like a baby. He's probably happy because I'm not snoring in the next bed. I'm walking back, and this girl that it looks like she was beat, bro. Like she was one of those girls that if you saw them from far away, you'd be like, "Huh, who's this?" And as they got closer, you're like, "I wasn't looking at
Yikes.
you." You know what I mean? Yeah. She starts walking my direction, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And then she turns around. She's like, "Hey, you got a light?" I'm like, "No, I don't smoke." I started vaping by then, apparently. So I said, "No, I don't smoke." And so I was vaping, and she goes, "Oh, I found a light. Hey, you know what's wrong?" And I was like, "I just lost all my money." And she's like, "Well, why?" And I'm like, "Because I suck at gambling." Yeah. And then she's like, "Well, you know, what are you doing tonight?" I'm like, "I just lost all my money. I'm going back to my room, and I'm going to sleep." And
what time was this? Like 3 a.m?
Yeah, dude, it was like 3.
Okay.
It might have been even later because it was almost time for the buffet to open. So
like at 6 a.m.
Like, we had enough time. Like maybe it opened at 5 and maybe it was 3. You know what I mean? Like it was enough time to where I kept trying to coerce you to stay awake. And when you get to a point where like you hit a wall and you're like, "Bro, I'm done. I can't do it anymore." And I'm like, and you know me, dude. Like I can stay up all night for 7 days.
I know. I don't get it.
Because I'm like a little kid. I think I'm going to miss something if I fall asleep. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why.
For sure. Jeez.
Yeah, I am every single day of my life, fear of missing out. Every single day of my life. To this day, I have to force myself to fall asleep. But anyways, so she goes, "Where are your boys at?" And I said, "I'm just here with my friend. You know, I'm married. You know, I'm going back to the room." She goes, "Well, how about this?" And she pulls out a card and she hands it to me. And she goes, why don't I come back to the room and party with you?" And I said, "Well, look, I'm married." She said, "Well, your boys aren't married." And I said, "I'm only here with one of my homeboys, and I'm pretty sure he's asleep, so I'm going back to the room." And she keeps pushing, and finally I stopped and I said, "Do you really think your parents know you do this for a living? Do your parents want you to do this for a living?" And she goes, "I'm just a dancer." And I said, "You're not a dancer in a city where prostitution is legal. I know you're not." Oh man, I offended that poor lady. But I didn't feel bad because I was already depressed and annoyed, and I just want to go back to the room because I'm broke. I got to tell Sherilyn that I lost all my money. Sherilyn don't want me gambling, really. You know what I mean? And you know, I did that thing where it's like, "Well, I'll just lose $100. I'll take $100. It'll last me all weekend." Bro, I think I'd already burned through like $400, and we didn't have money then. Like it wasn't now. Even now, like. I don't like wasting money at all, and gambling, it can be very dangerous because I have X amount of dollars in the register all the time, you know? So it's like, nope. And if I lose, I might be like, "Well, I'll just go," you know, because I am an addict. I have a gambling addiction. It's do not let me gamble. So, yeah, anyways, so I get back to the room. Me and Ad sleep it out. And then do you remember the rest of the story now?
Who knows? Keep going with that. Keep going, though, and I'll fill in some stuff.
So the next day, we wake up. And there's a tram, like a subway, like a trolley that goes across Vegas. And I think it was $5 or something, but I'm so cheap, I was like, forget this. So I just hopped the turnstile. I'm like, "Come on, Ad, let's go." And Adelaide is so litigious that he paid for his ticket. And then he apologized to me for it afterwards. He's just like, Mike, I didn't want to get caught, so I paid for this ticket. I feel like you still call me Sketch back then. Sketch, I didn't want to get caught, so I just paid for this ticket. You remember that?
Yeah, because we were right at the thing to hop. It was like a New York subway kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm hopping, dude. And I'm like, dude, cameras, bro. What if? So I went back and went to the little machine and put it. And there was nobody else on the tram. 0 people using it. We were the only ones in sight. And I went back and paid $5 like a.
And it wasn't like a New York turnstile. Like there was no service person there. There was nothing.
Yeah, it was totally empty.
It was all automated. So I was like, I'm hopping the turnstile. What are you doing? I'm going to hop the turnstile and ride back into Vegas. Oh, that's the next thing, you guys. Adley would get a bus pass when we go to Vegas. He'd get a 24-hour bus pass.
It was like $5.
Yeah, dude, but we sat next to the scumballiest people on the face of the planet. I was always like, bro, why don't we have a car? Let's just drive around. No. The bus pass is way better. Why? It'll take us to the shady casino that we can get shot at. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Bro, those casinos you take me to, and they'd be way, like when you guys, if you've never been to Vegas and you're watching TV and you see the bright lights and the fountains and all this beautiful stuff, like, that's not where we were going. Watch some sort of depressing movie about Beirut. That's where we were going, dude. We like these casinos were way off the beaten path, and they just look scary. They just look dirty and shady and like.
Dude, we went to the El Cortez, and that's there's the nice Las Vegas Strip with all the fancy fountains and Bellagio and all that. Then there's Fremont, which it's getting nicer now. It's got
now
the overhang, and
but
it's got
we said there when it wasn't nice because Adelaide's mom would get us free passes to sleep there. But go on.
Yeah, we get free rooms. You get free rooms at the Nugget, and then we go to the El Cortez, which is off the Fremont Street Strip, and that was the one where the craps table had like duct tape on it to keep it together. It was
but remember you could get that dollar shrimp cocktail, and it was the size of your head, and you know what I mean? Like you get that dollar shrimp cocktail or those dollar big old hot dogs. Like it was dope because it was $1, but you're still on Fremont Street, dude. And Fremont Street is more than depressing at 2:00 in the morning with all the crackheads and whatnot. You're just like, dude, this used to be Vegas, and now it's a dud. But anyways,
my gosh, dude. It's all fixed up now, though, dude. My brother just mentioned we're planning a trip in November, so if you want to go. But they got this place called the Circa, and it's across the street from where the shrimp was. And, dude, they've got like a movie theater size screen to watch sports on with stadium seating. So it's pretty legit, dude. It's pretty. It's called the Circa and stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's legit.
That would be sweet to watch the fight on Saturday there.
Oh, see, dude, stuff like that would be really fun. Because, dude, it's like, 300-400 seats. You can bet on the games, and it's on a huge screen. And as long as you got a paid bet ticket, you get a free drink. You know what I mean? Because they'll still check.
Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Sitting. Yeah, dude. So it's like it's pretty awesome. But we'd go to the El Cortez. There was a place called the Western.
Yeah,
and the S went out, so we'd call it the we turn because we need to turn around and go back to where it's safe. But that was like tuck your chain neighborhood. You'd be like, oh boy, I got money in my pocket to gamble, but please don't let me get mugged.
And we ride the bus to those places. I'm like, why are we riding the bus? If you guys want to be depressed, ride the freaking city bus in Las Vegas. You're gonna see the mishmash of garbage that life has spit out. But yeah, anyway, so I hop the turnstile. Adelaide pays for it. We get on this tram. We start riding down the way, and at the last stop, the cops are there. And Adelaide starts bugging out like they're coming after us. And they come inside the train, and they're looking around. And I'm like, man, are these guys really going to pop me for hopping the turnstile? And there was a junkie on the train, and they grabbed him and pulled him off. Adelaide was freaking out the whole time. Then after that, we go to the buffet, and it's noon at that point. And we eat our noon buffet, and that's when our wristbands timed out, and we stayed there until dinner time. So like I got up,
4 more hours,
went to the bathroom, came back. We just sat there and talked the whole time, drinking free soda, drinking free coffee, and then we ate dinner, and then we went back to the festivities of losing money. So,
dude, this is where I learned. This is if you guys ever go to an all-you-can-eat buffet that has crab legs. This is Mike's recipe. Mike, genius. Because Mike was smart about it. Because me, buffet, I'm like from that old school of like being like, dude, you better eat before it's gone kind of type thing. So I'll go to the prime rib or whatever. Give me 8 pieces of prime rib and just eat these all. No, dude, pace yourself, bro. Get 1 little piece of prime rib. Take a bite and let them clean the rest. and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, because it's weird, you know, when you see the rest of your prime rib going, and the guy's taking it like kind of pissed, like, dude, seriously. But I like that you take 1 or 2 bites and you just stop and you just go, that's all I want, because there's other stuff. You got to save room for dessert, and the crab thing is genius.
That's it.
So it takes a while.
Dude, what was dope though was we found that spot that had the crab legs already cut in half, and that's what made it really dope. And that's when I was like, check this out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. So you take first of all, you get your plate. And then you stack it this high with crab legs. You know what I mean? As high as you can carry, and you just, you stack them, and 100%. you take it to your table. Then you go back and you go and get a soup bowl.
Yes, you
do. You put the butter sauce in the soup bowl. You feel so it's butter soup basically. Yeah. So take it back, and you peel the crab, get all the crab out, get all the meat out, put it into the butter soup, and you just keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that. So you've got a bowl of butter and crab, and that's it.
Until the crab's popping out of the top, dude.
Yeah, and every piece of crab has butter liquid touching it. You know what I'm saying?
It.
Yes, yes. So that's what you got to do
on that.
Yeah, maybe a little hot sauce, but that's what you need. And it is like, wait, I can do this for 24 hours if they had let us. And we had the pass, but man, that was genius. To this day, I'll even go down the street to Golden, what's the one called? Golden Corral. I'll go to Golden Corral, and if they got crab or something like that, even if it's shrimp, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, dude, if it's seafood, man, I'm like, oh, I got to do this, dude, because the best recipe ever. When we go to Vegas in November, I'm finding a place, and I'm calling a place and be like, do you have crab? That's all I want to know, because that's what I'll do. That is genius. And dude, you're right about that. You got to pace yourself, because you go and think like, oh, I'm going to eat so much. But dude, remember, you got 24 hours. I feel like even at some point my stomach hated me and was like, dude, stop. There was times when I was going to explode, I'm sure. Would you ever throw up so you could squeeze in some more food?
No, but I definitely did cerote because I needed to eat more food. Like, I definitely did cerote. I was like, I got to get up and do a cerote, and then I'll come right back.
Clean out the system.
That was it, dude. That's all I needed was one cerote. Boop. And then come back over and just eat. Dude, look. John Lopez, or was it John, or was it Mike Lopez, or Flores? John Flores, yeah. John Flores, when we saw him and he was asking us to take him with us, or I was telling him about like how we were gonna do that the next day, and I'm like, I've got to figure out like some way that you can poop while you're sitting there. Like they should have like a toilet that you attach to your pants. And he's like, just wear adult diapers. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, what's the big deal? Just wear adult diapers. I'm like, that's disgusting.
Dude, I've heard of people doing that when they play slot machines, because they're like on a winning streak and like, I can't get up.
Really?
And just keep hitting the button.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
Gosh. No way.
There's a casino, well, an hour away, the Tachi Palace, and they'll have drawings. So every 30 minutes, they're drawing a name to win like $5,000, dude. Last time I was up there, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, the girl sitting next to me won $5,000, and I was like, dang it. But there's times when I'm like, I gotta hit the restroom. You know what I'm saying, dude? Because if your card's not in and you're not playing, they won't call you. So,
dude, I remember one time when gambling first started becoming legal, like around the world, you know, not just in Vegas, but like they do stupid things. You and I went to this like weird, it was like, it looked like a bar or a restaurant. It was in Bakersfield, and they were playing this weird blackjack game, but it was like Indian blackjack, and like the twos counted, and there was jokers in the deck. I'm like, I'm just losing money now.
Yeah, there's no way to win in some of those. Was that 22?
Yeah, I think it was 22. Yeah.
That was probably at like was that like Desert Diamond or Casino of the Sun? Those were the two casinos out there, and they were just starting to play card games. I think they're like, because they can only do slots forever.
No, it was in Bakersfield. So all they had was cards. Yeah, all they had was cards.
Oh,
and there was some sort of
West.
Like weird regulation where like if one guy touched the money, he was a state employee or he was a Native American or something, so that allowed you to play cards there. And dude, but it was the worst way to gamble. I'm like, why are we gambling in a game that we don't understand? Asian people do that all the time, bro. Like that Pai Gow. I don't understand what Pai Gow is.
That's so looks so confusing. Yes, it does. It does. That's right. Okay, yeah. And what they do is if it's a $5 bet, you have to pay $5.50 because 50 cents goes to the bank.
It was the worst way to lose money. You just kept losing money.
Yeah, it
One
was
time
rough.
I went to Vegas with Ben, and his uncle went, and his uncle understood the odds so well that he was like, play at this table because it pays better on this hand and da 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 da. And he just knew like all how to do that type of stuff to make money gambling. I've never known how to make money gambling, and I never will. And every time I win, I think I'm going to win again. And then I lose twice as much as I'd won. So I'm like, dude, what am I doing here? Like,
That's so true. Y'all
it's
be on a little
awful.
streak. I'm up $30. Oh man, I'm gonna keep winning all day. This is gonna be awesome. And then like 4 hours later, I'm like, man, I could hit the ATM. You know what I mean? It's
before
yeah, it's the
I
same
met you,
thing.
I used to sell my plasma to gamble.
Seriously?
Yeah, man. When I lived in Phoenix, I used to sell my plasma for gambling money. It sucked. Like that's how bad. That's how bad it was, dude. I think I was 17 the first time I went to the track. I went to Santa Anita, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was me and my friend Chris. We ditched high school. We went to the track, and I immediately caught the bug. As soon as I started gambling, I was like, I need to do this. This is my life's mission, to lose money.
Dude, it's so crazy because my dad's white, my mom's Thai, so it's like I'm in the middle. And you know what I mean? I love both my parents, but my dad, I learned to be very frugal from him, and my mom too, in some sense. But yeah, throwing gambling, I get that from my mom, dude. Oh my gosh, because I'll do that stuff too, and just be like, I gotta play, I want to play, I'm feeling the bug a bit. Let's go play. But then I'll be like, I better stop. At least I have that kind of.
Yeah, you're not as bad as I am. You can stop. Like if you lose $50, you get mad and you're like, I'm done. Me,
Yeah, I just
I'm
get
like,
pissed, walk it off, and like, nah.
Yeah, I'm like, somebody give me another $100 because I need my $50 back. All right, now somebody give me $150 because I need my $150 back. And then I'm so dumb, bro, that like even if I catch myself where it's like, oh sweet, I'm at 300. In my mind, I'm like, now I'm just even money, bro. I need my money. I need my real money.
I gotta come up.
Yeah, give me my come up now. I deserve it. You owe me. Then I lose the whole 300. I'm like, oh, I could have left even.
I should have left. Yeah, I should have. That always happens. Oh my gosh, dude. So
there's nothing worse
casinos
than that last like $5 when you're gambling, and you're like, okay, all right, I'll break this into quarters. I'll play some slots. I'll make sure I have $3 left so I can get a hot dog and a soda, and we'll go from there. Okay, I have $3 left. I'll break these into nickels. I'll play the nickel slots. I'll make sure I have $1 for a coffee, and then it's left. And then it's like, I might as well play this dollar slot because I only have $1 left. I lost that too. I hope you all have a horrible day.
That's so true. Oh, those casinos, but I don't know why they call me back, dude. They do. I'm like, I want to go.
There's a casino in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah,
yeah, dude, right by the stadium.
Does it have everything? Does it have slots, blackjack,
everything, roulette,
craps,
yeah, everything. But
wow,
Indian? Yeah, but no. I have no idea. They made some sort of rule where we could have 3 casinos in Pennsylvania, or maybe it's 5 or something like that. The guys from Boys to Men were trying to get a license at one point. Yeah.
Oh, right. I remember that.
But anyways, so they also have a free soda machine at that place, right? So now I don't gamble anymore, but when I was broke, it's also right next to the UPS place, and that's where I'd pick up my e-cigarette products that I would sell on the internet when I was starting Tiny Box Vape Shop. Yeah. So I'd stop at the casino with a 44-ounce empty cup that I'd gotten from 7-Eleven a couple days before, fill it up, get my big giant pop, and walk out and be like, I'm the only winner in this place today. And you're going up that elevator, going back to the car, you're drinking your soda, like, yeah, dude, I just got $1.60 on you fools. What? And there's a bunch of people standing next to you like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to make rent. And you're just drinking your soda all happy.
Yeah, with money in your pockets.
Yeah, trying not to smile. I would make sure I didn't bring a penny with me into those casinos
Smart.
either. No paper money, no change, nothing. Just my debit card. I'm like, I ain't messing with this debit card. I'm going to get my soda and keep it moving. Keep it pushing.
Yeah. I remember even in Tucson when they put the buffet in, and I was like, dude, I'd tell people, let's just go there for lunch. I'll just try to win $10 to pay for my buffet, and then we're good. You know what I mean?
Dude, I feel like you and I did that. I feel like you and I did that multiple times in Tucson.
We'll just go win food, eat, and then we'll leave. And that never happens.
In Tucson, those casinos were way out on the res. You know what I mean? Like you had to drive way out onto the reservation. The stadium, I could ride my bicycle there, bro. Like it's not that far from my house, from where I'm sitting right now. The stadium's. I'll put it to you this way: one time we were watching the Steelers play the Bengals, not the 2 weekends ago where we lost. The Steelers aren't that great this season.
Yeah.
We were watching the Steelers play the Bengals, and we were right about to win. And I knew if I did a TikTok in front of the stadium, it would blow up. I drove to the stadium, did a TikTok, and drove back before the game was done. And it was in the fourth quarter when I left and came back. That's how close I lived to the
Oh, that's
casino.
awesome. Oh, well, yeah. As long as you don't gamble, dude. Yeah, that'd be rough.
I've gambled there once with Bryant. Me and Bryant, I took him to the buffet because I wanted to take him to Fogo de Chao, or I wanted to take him to Texas de Brazil, which they're both churrascarias. You know, the flip the thing and you get all the meat, and they come and cut the meat in front of you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But you needed reservations, and I didn't make a reservation in time, so I felt bad. So I was like, look, they have decent desserts, they have a decent buffet. I'll take you here for the buffet. We'll play $40 and we'll keep it moving, you know. And as I was walking to the casino, I was like, I'm only doing 20. I'm not doing 40 because I'll be mad if I lose 40, but 20 I can handle. And I won $900 that night.
Holy cow, dude!
Yeah, I won $900 on a slot machine.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, I watched somebody. They kept losing. So I was like, Walked up, put $1 in, hit it, 777, and I was like, what does that mean, Bryant? And he goes, I think you just won $900. And I did. Yeah, I did. And then I gave Bryant $100 to gamble with, because me and Bryant have this thing. If either of us win, we give the other person money. Gave him $100. He came up $400. Gave him my 100 back with a 50 on top of it. I took the 50 that was on top of it, and we went out and got beers in Lawrenceville. And then
perfect.
Came home. Yeah, it was great.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then I tipped out everybody that works for me that week. I was like, they don't want $100. Here's an extra $100 for you. Boom, boom, boom. You know.
Oh, that's dope. Money. Yeah. When those things happen, those are great, and being able to walk away from them.
Well, what are you gonna do? You just won $900. It ain't getting any better than that. I don't think.
That's enough to be like, I'm done. 50. If you win $50, $75, $100, you're like, well, I could squeeze out a couple more bucks out of this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like you just watch your stats just go down. And you're like, I should have stayed up with the $50. You know, but yeah. But anywho, we got a lot to talk about. Oh yeah.
Dude, then you think about the things you could have bought with the money you've lost. Don't you do that? I could have had a steak dinner tonight.
I could have paid the electric bill.
I could have bought a leather jacket.
Yeah.
Whatever like little electronic gadget was going on in my mind at that time that I couldn't afford, you know, so I wouldn't buy. I could have bought that. Dude, I always think about what I could have bought with what I lose. Yeah. I hate gambling.
I agree with you too, because I'll be like, man, I could have done this, could have done that, and I got to dig into my savings or whatever. But yeah, but back then, dude, we were both pretty bad. We didn't have any money, but we still went and gambled. It's like,
I think that's why we gambled, because we didn't have money. I think once you have a couple bucks in your pocket, you're like, how much is really going to change for me? How much is going to make me happy? Because don't get it twisted, Adlai. That $900 I won was sweet. It was super awesome. I was like, wow, this is really cool. But realistically, it's like, this doesn't change my life.
It's not life changing. Yeah, it's a couple nights out.
That would have changed my life.
That's true too. Yeah, that's rent for like 4 months. Yeah. We've been like, dude, this is awesome.
All right, well, I'll tell you who does like to gamble. Nick Cannon and Eminem, just in case you were wondering. You ready?
Here we go. Let's do it.
Season 2, Beef. This time, Adlai, Eminem and Nick Cannon. Yes, Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, born Nick Cannon, October 8th, 1980, San Diego, California. Net worth, $30 million. Y'all know who Nick Cannon is, so I don't have to explain his whole backstory and how he was on Nickelodeon and whatnot. If you want that type of stuff, just type in who's Nick Cannon or turn on the TV. I mean, you should know who this guy is by now.
He wears a turban.
Yeah.
Still.
Eminem, Marshall Mathers, born October 17th, 1972, born in
Detroit.
St. Joseph, Missouri. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Whoa.
Net worth, I'll let you take a crack at that while I turn the page.
That's got to be 100 mil or more. Over 100.
$230 million.
230. Okay.
So in the early 2000s, Nick and Eminem didn't really know each other. Nick totally respected Eminem's music, and Eminem was a rising star. By 2009, this all changes. So what comes between the two of them? Well, let's find out. 2002, Eminem and Mariah Carey were trying to figure out a way they could collaborate together. Mariah says it was always professional, but it's clear as you hear the story that Eminem felt differently. From 1991 to 2001, Mariah Carey dated, do you know?
1991?
1991 to 2001.
Was that the record guy, Tommy Mottola?
No, Luis Miguel.
Oh, that's right. Okay. They're
Spanish
together
Mexican
for
singer,
10
Luis
years?
Miguel. I know, huh? Isn't that crazy?
Huh. Okay. 91. Okay. Huh.
So at that point, around 2001, Eminem meets Mariah Carey, and they're going to collaborate on her new album she's coming out with called Charm Bracelet. So for those of you who aren't really familiar with how hip hop worked back then and how Mariah Carey was kind of integral to introducing a lot of mainstream people into hip hop. Like she would have Old Dirty Bastard on her tracks.
Mm-hmm.
She'd have Busta Rhymes on her tracks. Like
Jay-Z was on a track.
Yeah, Fat Joe. Like
Yeah.
she was really integral in getting top 40 artists or top 40 stations to play artists that were on records that me and Adlai would play at the clubs or we'd play at the radio station. So this would have been a great collaboration for Eminem and Mariah Carey, but for some reason Mariah Carey turned it down. At which point, 2002, Eminem mentions Mariah Carey in his song Superman on the Eminem Show. So I actually listened to the song before the show when I was waiting for you to come in the green room, and the videos, it's this girl, and I guess you could kind of think she looks a little bit like Mariah Carey, and she's like just doing everything she can to beg to be with him and everything like that. But if you watch the video with the understanding that this man is obsessed with Mariah Carey and that he believes something happened between the two of them, it makes a little more sense because he's first of all, you could tell he worked out really hard so he could have his shirt off in the video because he's like kind of ripped, but he's Eminem ripped. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh wow, that's John Cena. It's like, okay, Eminem has a six pack and his chest looks decent.
Okay, yeah.
And like there's all these chicks hitting on him, and like there's one scene in the video where it's like just a sea of half dressed women all lying on top of each other and on top of him, and you could tell he's like, if you look at it from the perspective of, oh, this guy's jealous because Mariah Carey didn't want to be with him, you'd be like, okay, I'd make that video too because I'm a petty rapper that wants everybody to think I have all kinds of chicks and wants Mariah Carey to be jealous. Then in 2002, Eminem was asked by Rolling Stone if he'd had a sexual relationship with Mariah Carey, and he said there was truth to that. That was his response to them.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In 2003, the Charm Bracelet album comes out, and there's a song called Clown, which addresses Eminem.
Wow.
Yeah, the lyrics state, I should have left it at I like your music too. And so it was a subliminal, like, kind of under the radar diss at Eminem.
Dude, wait. So question real quick. So did they hook up? Did they romantically have any kind of relation at all?
Well, you
or
told
who
me.
knows? So nobody knows.
Eminem says yes. Mariah Carey says no. In 2002, Mariah Carey goes on the Larry King Show, and he asks her point blank, did you have a physical relationship with Eminem? She responds, no. Then she went on a British television show. The woman asked her, did you have a relationship with Eminem? She said, define relationship. She said, were you guys friends? And she said, I'll say yes to that. She said, did you sleep with him? She said, no. So according to Mariah Carey, there was no physical anything. Then in 2003 on her tour, she included, on the tour that she was going on, she included a marionette show where there was a parody of Eminem. So there was this person dressed in a yellow wig with a Detroit Pistons jersey on, and they had him like a marionette, there was a guy,
like a big
but
puppet.
they had him looking like a big puppet like that.
Okay.
and she never said it was Eminem, but
people were like, okay, I get it. Put two and two together. It's like a mini beef inside the beef.
Well, he'd said that they'd had relations, and she says that they didn't have relations. So she was kind of like, all right, look, you're a puppet.
Yeah, what's weird about this too is kind of thinking like, I mean, I don't know. Has a girl ever denied hooking up with you?
Me personally?
Like, I'm just thinking like if a girl did that to me, it's like, we never hooked up, I'd be like, whatever, okay. Like, don't you think? Eminem's huge. If she said no, why would you get mad about it and write diss records about a girl?
Mean, it just gets worse. But I couldn't tell you. Like, to me, if I had been with a girl and she wanted nothing to do with me, I would pretend like I never met her. Like, I would be embarrassed. You know what I mean?
That route. Okay, deny it too.
If you'd be like, hey, man, do you know so-and-so? I'd be like, I might have met her once, you know? But I would hope to God you'd never find out that I got rejected hard by this person. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd be like, I think I've heard of music.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Because I'm thinking, like, who cares, dude? You're Eminem. You got platinum records. You probably can pull some decent chicks at this point in your life. Granted, Mariah Carey was gorgeous.
I mean, you can say he could probably
in the 90s.
Pull decent chicks, but like
2000s.
All those songs about murdering his wife.
That's true.
And riding her around in the car murdered. If you're a woman and you hear that that's how a man talks about his baby's mama, aren't you going to kind of take a pass? I mean, I would assume.
I'm cool in the collab. Yeah, because Eminem made some really hardcore stuff. Hardcore music about
Kim.
About Kim. And it's like, whoa. People ate it up, though, you know? I mean.
Because it was clever and it was interesting, but it was really dark. Talking about driving her down to the ocean and waving high while she's dead in the car with you. You know, like, he just wrote all these horrible songs about how he's going to murder his wife. Now, if you're a woman, I don't know. I got to assume that's got an OJ vibe to it. I'm not trying to stick around for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if I'm Mariah Carey, no matter what I did, I'd be like, yeah, I didn't hear your album. Now I have heard your album. You and I shouldn't date. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which makes sense. She was kind of America's sweetheart.
Okay, so then Eminem, during his anger management tour, plays voicemails with her saying, why are you not seeing me? Why won't you call me? But then one of Mariah's friends came out and told the Post that the voice was an imposter. That was not Mariah Carey's voice.
Fake Mariah's?
Yep.
And even then, dude, I'm sure it's easy enough to get a voicemail from somebody somewhere. Granted, nobody leaves voicemails anymore, but back in the day when you did leave them, they could say like, "Oh, that Mariah Carey recording, if it was really her, could have been from somebody else."
Yeah, or she could have been calling somebody else, or it could have been whatever it could have been. It could have been in a voice impersonator. It's not very hard to do Mariah Carey's speaking voice. Hard to do that singing voice. And I'll tell you right now, you go to karaoke, everybody thinks it's not, and you're like, lady, please sit down. No, you can't hit that note. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Oh, man, it's awful. Eminem versus Nick Cannon in 2006. We haven't even got to Nick Cannon yet. In 2006, Eminem writes Jimmy Crack Corn. And in the lyrics, it says this. Your mind is honest like Mariah, and all you like her, all you're effing liars. But I'll keep effing with you like I effed her, writing her A with KY. Yes, sir. So now it's not subliminal anymore.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. If I was Mariah, I'd be like, dude, wow. That's insane. That's really crazy. And I remember that song, too. And it's like, wow, looking back, you're like, whoa.
Also in 2006, he went on his radio station, Shade 45, to call her a B and a C, and you know what those words actually are.
Right.
And he said they dated for 6 to 7 months.
Huh.
So in my mind, it's like, bro, what's wrong with you, dude? Like, and I'm not dumb. Mariah Carey's an attractive human. I know what an attractive human looks like. I also understand she has a beautiful singing voice.
Yep.
But I bet you she's psycho. Personally, I'm not going to lie to you. I bet you she's psycho. You don't think so?
In certain ways, dude, she was dating Luis Miguel. That dude was like one of the most handsomest dudes ever, right? Yeah, you know, and she had him, and then getting dumped by him. Well, I don't know if she got dumped or whatever. They broke up. It's gonna affect you in some way. And then you got Eminem.
Well, not only is one of the most handsome guys in the world, that Luis Miguel. So for our American listeners, you don't realize how big Luis Miguel is, but that dude sells out soccer arenas, like with no problem. Like he sells out. It's like what's that Indian comedian? Oh man, I can't remember his name now. Russell Peters. It's like Russell Peters. People haven't heard of the guy, and he sells out arenas in India, England, like wherever there's like big Indian and Asian crowds. He just sells out, dude. But that's how Luis Miguel is. Okay. there seems to be more the more attractive and more wanted your woman, like as a woman you are, it seems like there's more crazy going on, especially now. Add the insane amount of artistic nature that she has. You know what I mean? How many
Yeah, she
artists
had
do you know that aren't
everything
crazy?
she wanted. Yeah, true. Not very many. They all have that weird thing. It could be, but then again, it could be a justified paranoia too, kinda. Right? You're kind of
Maybe.
protecting yourself. I don't know. But I'm thinking now Eminem was saying we dated for 6 to 7 months.
Yeah.
In the
And she's a
grand
B
scheme of
and a
things,
C.
the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem like that big a deal. Obvious. Well, here's my take on it. Eminem's infatuated with her. There's no doubt about that. She's like, probably was like, Eminem was a rebound. You know, kind of, maybe she's kind of experimenting with this bad boy after Luis Miguel. Kind of a proper, you know, straight up handsome dude from Mexico. So it could be, you know, they're seeing it different, whatever the relationship was.
If it did happen, Eminem was an oopsie, clearly. Obviously
Yes.
an oopsie. And I've
we
been
can
an
agree on
oopsie,
that.
brother. I know what it is to be an oopsie. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll tell the truth. You've probably been around when I was the oopsie. Like, oh, you hooked up with Sketch? Hey, I'm famous. What's wrong with that? You know, like, so like, but you didn't hear me complaining about it afterwards. Like,
Yes,
oh man, the girl
exactly.
that worked at the baseball stadium, she was so pretty. Why doesn't she like me? It's like, it's Sketch, man. Everybody was out of their mind drinking mezcal that night, and she made a horrible decision. You know,
And I was that horrible decision.
that's it.
Thank you, and I'll be on my way.
In 2007, 50 Cent backs him up in the song All of Me. And he goes on and he says nefarious things also about Mariah Carey.
Huh.
Yeah, but at this point, it's like, bro, that's not very masculine in my opinion.
It's a girl.
Yeah.
It's
but
not some dude. Like it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Some
It's
dude
not
trying to
beef,
shoot you.
yeah.
It's not real pee. It's like a girl, dude. Let her be. It's Mariah Carey, dude. Come on.
Yeah, well, and
Wow.
on top of it, is it very masculine to whine about a girl who dumped you? Or do you just sack up and go, well, it is what it is?
Move on. Yes,
Yeah.
you move on.
You're
Wow.
allowed like 3 days, I think. How long do you have? What do you say? If some girl dumps you, how long do you have before I'm done listening to you complain about her?
It's 3 days. That's the max.
You think
I'm
3
probably
days is the max? Wow.
I'm thinking in the first 12 hours, I'm like, dude, let's
Especially
go.
if it's a 6-month relationship.
Yeah, it's not a long relationship, and don't get me wrong. I'll remind you. Yeah, she was really hot. I remember when I had a girlfriend in high school. Kind of after that, we dated for 2-3 years, and I was like, and I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and my dad would be like, well, she's a good looking girl, man. I mean, what do you? I'm
kept
like,
reminding
thanks,
you that she was
Dad.
good-looking.
I'm all like, oh my god. But it's like, hey, you know, we split up, and we split, and it wasn't meant to be. And that's how you got to view. It's like, hey,
Mariah Carey's
Move
texting
on.
me right now to tell me
Is
that
that her?
Eminem really did mess around with her.
that she misses you.
I don't know.
I miss you.
Who's
I miss
texting
you,
me right
Mike.
now? I'm
Oh
turning
my
my
gosh.
phone off. People should be texting me right now.
I think mine's, but dude, that's
Unprofessional.
You're right though. You gotta just, dude.
Bro, come on,
The
dude.
manly
Like,
thing to do is not care, or at least pretend not to care.
yeah, go home and cry when nobody's watching, dude. Don't be a sissy about it. I don't want to hear your bull crap. Bro, here's the thing. Here's the next thing is like I talk a lot about when you were young, how handsome you're, blah, blah, blah. I was handsome too. I just smelled like cigarettes and had a horrible attitude. You know what I mean? And that's the thing is like, dude, I remember when you dated that girl, her man was in prison and you guys broke up and she was very, very attractive.
Yeah, she was.
But I didn't hear a peep out of your mouth for freaking 10 years as this story goes. Like, I don't get how you're not embarrassed. If I'm Eminem, I'm embarrassed of myself that I am going for 10 years on this, going, I loved you and you didn't love me back. And it's like, what is wrong with you, man? Leave it go.
Let it go. And okay, keep going.
No, please.
I was gonna kind of bring up the Nick Cannon stuff, but I think you're gonna touch on
Oh,
it.
I'm getting right there.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in 2008, Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey start dating. So I actually saw an interview with Fat Joe, and I got to be honest with you, my opinion on Nick Cannon's changed because there's like my Nick Cannon opinion fluctuates all the time, and now I'm back on the I like Nick Cannon train. Like, so there was a point where I'm like, F that guy, he's a joker, what's wrong with him, blah blah blah. Then there was a time when I was like, hey man, America's got talent, you're doing a good job there, friend. And then there was a time when it's, you think you're gonna diss Eminem? What is wrong with you? You know, like there's all these like different times. But I saw an interview with Fat Joe while I was doing my research, and Nick Cannon was talking to Fat Joe, and he was like, look, man, I'm dating Mariah Carey. That's all I care about. He's like, I can't imagine I'm even going to talk to Mariah Carey. Now I'm dating Mariah Carey. So in 2008, Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon start dating. In 2009, they get married. And as a wedding gift, Eminem drops Bagpipes from Baghdad. Have you ever heard this song?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, spit some lyrics. I was looking that up too.
Oh, I didn't write those lyrics down because those lyrics were awful.
Yeah, those were, yeah. Oh my gosh, they were bad.
Yeah, he calls her a B word. He calls her a C word. He calls her a whore. Then he talks about how Nick Cannon needs to just stop having his fun and give her back and all this stuff. So Nick Cannon hears the song and calls Chris Lighty. Do you remember Chris Lighty?
He was one of the Interscope or whatever label kind of high-ups.
He was the manager for 50 Cent and Fat Joe. And that's actually who brought them back together from their beef. He was the one that, before he died, he said, hey, can you guys, you guys really need to wrap this up? Then he died, and then they went on BET's tribute to Chris Lighty, and that's when they were like, peace, peace. And that's when they ended their beef. So he calls him because that's 50 Cent's manager, and he's like, hey, dude, can you set up a meeting so I could talk to M, man? Like, you're talking about my wife.
Nick Cannon and Eminem.
Yeah, he's like, you're talking about my wife. You and I need to talk. We can talk this out man to man. We can work it out. But, we need to talk face to face. Eminem says no.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. Eminem, but that's the thing. Why does he say no, dude? That's the one. Well, then again, we can tell that he obviously is just, his ego is so crushed by Mariah saying, refuting all this information about them dating or hooking up or whatever. He has a chance to talk to, and you got to respect Nick for that. Like, dude,
I know, dude. That's why my respect level's going back up for the guy.
You dissed my wife on a record that 1 million people have listened to as her husband. Dude, you're calling me out. Anybody that really loves his wife that got called out like that, you're like, dude, you got to do something. You got to do something.
He called her a B and a C, bro. You gonna call my wife like that, bro? Trust me. Like, I think he was way more professional than I would have been. Because I definitely would have done some street stuff. I would have been like, I'm not rap beefing with you. I know you're a sissy. You're not very big. What are you going to do to me? Nothing.
Yeah, that's oof.
And you better hope your crew's not around, or is around all the time. For the rest of your life, you're going to have to live like, go ahead and name the rapper that left the artist. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to watch over your shoulder. You're going to be Tupac for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because of what you just did.
Now, 50 Cent, what does 50 Cent tell? What do you think is telling him? 50 Cent's like, come on, dude.
No, 50 Cent's encouraging it for some reason. I guess because they're young. I don't know.
This was a few years back. Okay.
So then Nick Cannon goes on Tumblr and he writes this. I don't know why anybody hasn't stood up to your BA yet. And I think you can know what the B and the A are.
Yeah.
He says, but I guess it's going to take a corny, whack-rapping boy toy from Nickelodeon to set you straight. And trust, I'm going to be relentless. Even though I have other obligations, you are now my full-time job.
Respect, dude.
It's all respect, huh?
You got to respect that. Yeah. Yeah.
Then he also wrote, let's not forget about M's mixtape rants calling African Americans the N-word and how he hates black bees. You know what that is.
Right.
He's a natural-born racist.
Huh.
So at this point, and it's interesting because at this point, Nick Cannon's like studying Afrikaner studies. He's meeting with Professor Griff, like from Public Enemy. For everybody who doesn't know who Professor Griff is, he was so black and militant that Public Enemy kicked him out of the group, and that's saying a lot. Yeah. So he's meeting with Professor Griff, and like he's really feeling his black heritage, and that's when he started wearing the turban to symbolize like coming from that region of the world.
Okay.
I looked up the song that he talks about, where the Eminem's mixtape, where he talks about the
using the
N-word, and they scrubbed it from the internet.
Wait, was it the ER version, like the racist version?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Does it really matter?
No.
Should white people use that word?
No. You're right. I agree.
But they scrubbed it from the internet, dude. Like, and there'd be articles where it's like Eminem's mixtape was caught. Here's the YouTube video. Video no longer exists. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. In 2009, Mariah Carey releases a song called "Obsessed" and makes a video. I don't know if you remember this video, but there's a fake Eminem following her the whole way through the video. Then he's standing in the room and he's screaming at pictures of her and he just looks psycho and everything like that. Becomes a #1 record. So, yeah.
Yeah. Did she do the right thing? Kind of, clapping back on that.
I don't know, because I can't tell you. I can't, because I don't understand how beef works in this manner. Like, we get disses all the time on our YouTube channel. You don't read our comments, but every once in a while we'll get one on Facebook or we'll get one here on live, and you get so angry. I just delete them. I just delete the comments.
That's the best way, dude. That's the best way.
Well, and street dudes say that's a B move, but I'm like, why? I don't want to read this thing anymore. This guy says I suck. Obviously, I don't want to. Good, I suck. Don't watch us anymore, please, and stop saying these things. But thank you for the interaction, because that bumps up our algorithm. So then on 2009, Eminem goes on the BBC, and he said Bagpipes in Baghdad was him trying to wish the couple luck.
Wow,
like, dude, and he seemed serious too. Yeah, he seemed serious. He was like, "No, I don't see how you saw that as a diss, but I'm actually going to wish the couple luck."
Dude, what Eminem records did we play in the club?
All of them.
Did we really play a lot of Eminem stuff?
Yeah, but they had a real short shelf life. You had like a 4-week shelf life on all of them because they're really sugary. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like just sugar. There's not a lot of substance to Eminem music. Like Eminem's very clever in his wordplay, but it's kind of like hearing a joke. You hear it for the first time and it's super funny. The 37th time, it's not funny.
Kind of novelty kind of wears off after a while. And okay.
Yeah, Versuz.
I don't really remember playing a lot of Eminem in the club.
We played.
I really don't.
We played all of them because they were
a couple weeks they're out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but they were big records because that's when the Slim Shady LP came out. When what was the second one was.
I can't even tell you. I don't remember. I remember I'm Slim Shady. I'm Slim Shady.
Yeah, but then the second one was the one with I Am Everything I Say I Am. I can't remember the name of the album anymore.
I Am Everything I Say.
But
Okay.
Then Eminem released The Warning. He then said he would release pictures, and called Nick on the album. He says, "I got pictures and I'm going to release them." And then he called Nick a hag with an F. How about that? I didn't want to say the F word because you would think it was a different word. So I said he called him a hag with an F. Does that make sense to you?
Okay, you know yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Really? Jeez.
Yeah. Then Gucci Mane came out and he was like, "I'll kill Eminem for you." He told Nick Cannon, he's like, "I'll take care of
too.
Yeah, he's like, "I'll take care of this right now for you." Because Gucci Mane and Mariah Carey got along really well, and she featured him on a couple of her songs.
Yeah, okay.
Then the beef calms down for 10 years. And Nick Cannon was on T.I.'s podcast, and he told him, "I don't know." He says, "I'm not going to out-rap you." He says, because T.I. was like, "What were you thinking at the time?" And he says, "Well, I knew I couldn't out-rap him, so I was going to tell him, I know I can't out-rap you, but I will whoop your A."
I'll throw down. Yeah.
Yeah. So then Eminem, immediately afterwards, there's a track with Fat Joe called Lord Above, and he disses Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey one more time. It's like, bro, it's been 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 10. Now it's almost 20 years at this point, because 2019 when he puts that song out, and everything started around 2001, 2002.
Does Eminem still, when he hears that little thing on T.I.'s podcast, does he think, gotta protect my street cred, I gotta put a song out? Because he's already got his kind of, as far as rapping goes. If you're trying to protect your street cred, stop looking like a sucker for a girl. Stop looking like a sucker. Like, you look like a sucker. Bro, if you did that, you do not know how bad I would bag on you if you were telling me, you have 3 days, bro. I love this girl from 15 years ago.
I might even give you like a week. I might even give you 2 weeks, maybe. I might even do that because you're my friend. But bro, after 2 weeks, if you brought that up again, I would be like, take your skirt off, sack up, and be a man. You are acting like a sissy. That is such a B.I. move, bro. You have to admit. Any dude that wallows over a woman like that, that's a B.I. move, bro.
20 years. And I'm thinking what's going through Eminem's mind. Is he really thinking like, dude, I gotta clap back. I gotta respond to this because people are gonna think that I'm weak and that she got the best of me. 10 years later, 20 years later, you're just like, I wonder what goes through his mind. What?
You sound like a Bia. That's what's going through my mind right now. Bro, you're trying to be cool. You're a battle rapper. You're a good battle rapper.
Yes.
You're one of the best MCs. Hands down. Everybody says it. That, it always goes back and forth because you're white. But, oh, well, it is what it is. You chose that life, and you're an excellent MC. I don't know what Mariah Carey, did she put a voodoo on you or something? Like, I don't know what she did to you, but bro, it's been 20 years now. Leave it go. You look like a Bia. That's what you look like. Doesn't that sound like that kind of move or no?
It's not a good look to be holding on to a girl that whatever. She denied the fact that you guys hooked up. Let it go.
Dog, if you knew someone that was holding on to it for 20 years, I'd be like, bro, don't bring me around that person anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Please.
I'd be the same. I'd be like, I don't want to hear it. Dude, does he? Because he really, Eminem's got to be in relationships, but he never had another kid after Haley, right? It was the one girl, had the daughter, never had kids again, huh? Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know what Mariah, if she had a voodoo, or what did she do to this man to make him so obsessed with her that for 20 years you went out like a sucker? Like, dude, you look like a sucker, bro. You look like a simp, a straight up cuck, dog. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, you're a cuck. That's what you are. I don't really know what that word means, but I kind of think I know what that word means. And in my mind, that's what that word means. You're a cuck.
I got you.
Anyways, then Nick Cannon responds with the invitation. Have you ever heard that song?
Okay, that's one where he kind of starts bringing up race too, right?
Featuring Suge Knight.
Oh yeah,
and, so it starts with Suge with a call from prison. Call from Suge Knight, and he's like, this Eminem, I don't know what he's blah blah, because Nick Cannon knew that Eminem was afraid of Suge. And why wouldn't you be? Suge Knight is a scary man.
Afraid of Suge. I'm scared of Suge. Shoot.
We had that last 2 weeks.
We talked about that
last week. Yeah, we're like, who are you more scared of, Birdman or Suge Knight? And you're like, oh, that's a tough one. I'm like, yes, it is. I think it's Birdman because he's free. I am afraid of both. I'm not gonna lie.
But I'm afraid of both.
Yeah, but I ain't not afraid of Suge Knight, and I bet you Eminem ain't not afraid of him anyways. Yeah, so he goes really, really hard at Eminem, and it's just like, he doesn't really go into the like white boy stuff at first, because the invitation is he's essentially saying, look, man, we invited you into our culture, man. So what are we doing here, right? But then he took his wildin' out battle rapper and had him lay a verse down. Now in the interview with Fat Joe, he was like, look, I'll be honest with you. I was ready to drop the beef. I just wanted Eminem to come on Wildin' Out because I'm trying to get ratings. He's like, could you imagine what my ratings would have been?
Yeah, that'd have been insane. Heck yeah, I'd have watched, dude. Yeah, you'd watch that over and over.
Yeah, exactly. And M responds, hold on. Oh, that's right. So in that song, he doesn't talk about race, but what he does say, I had to write like special notes to myself because I'm like, well, I'll explain in a minute. In the song, he does say M was S-ing his chauffeur's D.
All right.
He says, I heard your show. You were S-ing your chauffeur's D. Got a picture taken, fired him and deleted it. Paid him off, fired him and deleted it. But the reason why I had to write special notes is because S-ing looks like sing. So I wrote like little like pictures and stuff. Neither here nor there. M responds on Twitter. No. M responds on Twitter by saying, "You mad, bro? Stop lying on my D. I never even had a chauffeur, you bougie F." Huh. Also on Twitter, "I demand you apologize, Nicholas. You've made my gardener so jealous." Nick replies, "F your apologies. Pull up, bring your gardener, your chauffeur, your male nurse, whoever else you're effing."
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Then Nick tweets the cease and desist order that Eminem's lawyer sent him. So that looks like even a bigger BI move.
Oh, dude, yeah, jeez. Oh my gosh.
After that, Nick Cannon puts out Invitation Canceled, where he samples No Vaseline, which I thought was pretty dope. Remember at the beginning of No Vaseline where it goes, "Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you." Yeah. And as they're playing that, he plays everything that Eminem had said about him or had said on a record or said about Mariah Carey. Then he loops Eminem's song where he says, "Black girls are bees, black girls are dumb. And that's the whole loop under his song the whole time.
Oh, he
black
found
girls
that
are
then.
bees, black girls are dumb. Black girls are bees, black girls are dumb. And he's like,
Wow.
This is how you talk about our queens. This is how you talk about our women. We invited you to the party. Now the party's canceled. We invited you to be a part of our thing. Now it's canceled. Dude, it was a pretty smart song.
Do you think Eminem's got some skeletons in the closet then?
On the gay stuff or on the
All of
racist
it.
stuff?
Both, because I'm thinking, dude, he's always so angry all the time. That makes it so you can't get to him and find out the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just throwing that out there, but
no, I mean I think that's a valid question. I couldn't tell you if Eminem is gay or not. Like, I personally do not believe Eminem is gay. I could be wrong. Maybe that's why he talks so much about womenizing, and that kind of is a tell sometimes. You know what I mean? Like somebody's like, yeah, I just like chicks, man. I have no idea. One time I was at the shop, right? And this dude was in the shop, and I was talking about some other dude, and I said, yeah, you know, guy's a handsome guy, blah blah blah. And he goes, well, I don't know, because I don't judge guys. And I said, well, then you don't get chicks, bro, because if you and Brad Pitt are walking in the bar, I'm walking out of the bar, because I know Brad Pitt's getting more chicks than me, because I know he's handsome. If you can't recognize that, welcome to the single life, because if you don't know who's better looking than you, you're never gonna get a girl. You just aren't, dude. You know what I mean? But that whole, like, I'm so masculine, I can't admit a dude's handsome. I'm so, you know what I mean? Like that whole, like, I'm not gay. I'm telling you I'm not gay. I'm telling you. Versus if somebody calls you or me gay and it's like, well, how'd you know? You know, we like kind of tease it off.
Shake it off, whatever. It's like,
yeah, because who cares? What does it matter? I know I'm not gay.
I don't care.
You know, it doesn't bother me. If you think I'm gay, well, good. Leave me alone then. But obviously, I don't need to talk to you. And if
buy
you
me
don't
a
like
drink.
maybe I don't want that direction of you think I'm gay. I'm a homophobe and I think you're gay. It's good, then don't talk to me anymore. If that gets you away from me, I'm gay. You caught me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't tell you if Eminem was gay or not. I can say that I could see Nick Cannon saying that where he didn't really know that, but he knew that would really get him. But the racist thing, like, ooh, that's rough. Because if you said some stuff and it got, you know, and you thought that you think you're just a local rapper in Detroit. Not that he should say the N-word, but he did say the N-word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, man, you thought you were just going to be a local rapper. You thought this was just going to be a local mixtape that was passed around at the swap meet. Now you're the biggest artist ever, and that's still out there somewhere. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that could be weighing on his mind, too, about being so angry. He's like, man, when that comes out, I'm going to have some explaining to do. And people have obviously heard it, because obviously they got a hold of something. So, yeah, you wonder about that, too. Dude, Eminem, can he get bigger? No. You know what I mean? He's even at this point, you know, you throw him on a record, it's like, okay, it's probably going to be a hit.
But I don't think he's a racist, right?
I wonder, well, here's the thing. Maybe it goes back to the chicks, because he talks about black women, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he got rejected by a bunch of black women.
I mean, he's from Detroit, dude. Like, he grew up in Detroit.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of white women there. You know what I mean? And he probably wanted to date them. They're like, no, you're a corny white guy. You know?
So he kind of threw it. That was kind of like his way to kind of get back to him, and just, you know, it wasn't right.
And being wild like that, saying wild things like that, it's gonna blow your mixtape up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe he was just doing it for that. I'm not giving the guy a pass. If he's a bigot, then F him. I'm not a fan of any form of bigot.
Right. Agreed.
And if he's gay, God bless him. That's his decision, you know, or however that works, or whatever your beliefs are. I'm not trying to, you know, stir anybody up by saying, oh, you're saying things that aren't correct about gay people. Look, I have no issue if he likes men. There's no issue on my end. He's still an insanely good MC.
Yeah.
You know,
one of the best battle rappers.
Yeah,
definitely.
So and once again, he probably is not a homosexual. He probably likes women, but whether he does or whether he doesn't, that's not my issue. Anyway, so in 2020, Nick Cannon goes on Fat Joe's podcast, airs all this out, and ends it with, which is where the beef ends. He would still like to see Eminem in a rap battle or in a boxing match, where he's like, look, man, if you want to fight, we could do it on pay-per-view. Or if you want to battle, we can battle, and that's how it ends, man.
It ends right there, huh?
Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
Well, it's only 2021, bro. So we might have another 10 years of this, and out of nowhere, you know, Eminem's like 60.
30, it comes back. Oh,
Eminem's 60, and he's like, I'll tell you right now, I did have Mariah's chonies at my house. I'll prove it. You know, it's like, bro, leave it go, dude.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Don't you
my
agree with me
God.
on the leave it go though?
Let it go. Let it go, man. It's yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that
It's
an
done. It's
embarrassing
done.
move for a man though? Don't you think
Yeah.
that's not very masculine for a man to pine over a woman that long?
Dude, I think if I could, did you ever meet Jamal back in Tucson when I worked in behavioral health? He was one of the homies. He's one of my bosses.
Tucson Disneyland, Jamal.
Yeah. So we're chilling one time, and there was this girl I kind of was crushing on. Like, man, I dig it, whatever he's all. But she's not hitting me back because I'll text 3 times and that's it, and it's over. You know what I'm saying? If I don't get a text back in 3 times,
You're a lazy outfielder.
you move on.
Not me. Not me.
But he told me he's all, and I was kind of, I was crushing. I was like, he's like, Adley, just sometimes relationships don't work. And it was the simplest thing I'd ever heard. But it was like, ding, light
Words
bulb.
of wisdom.
Yeah, sometimes things just don't work out.
Well, God bless you, Jamal.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
thanks for that, man. Because otherwise, you're writing the letters, you're giving fake shout outs on the air. no comment on who did that. But
Dude, I never did that. Like there was one girl who I kind of liked, and when she broke up with me, it hurt my feelings. We talked about it one day. You taught me your manipulative tactics on how to treat ladies, and that was it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it literally would be this time ago from when that person no longer wanted to be with me. Could you imagine if right now I was like, let me tell you about Deanie Rodriguez. I wrote a song about it. Deanie Rodriguez, your butt is stinky. It's like, all right, well, leave it go, dude. Like,
your boyfriend's stupid. Wait,
yeah,
we haven't dated for 10 years.
Yeah, leave
and
it
we
go.
didn't really date.
Yeah, exactly. Same exact scenario as probably Eminem.
So maybe Eminem, sometimes relationships just don't work.
Take some advice from your boy Mike, dude.
Yeah.
Let it go and stop looking like a B.I.B.I.
Let it go.
I would pretend like I didn't even say it in the first place. Like, oh, no, that was all a joke. I had nothing to do with it. I said that? No, I was talking about Mary Carey, the lady that was running for governor in California, not Mariah Carey, the singer. No. And Rick Cannon. Rick is her husband, Richard.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, dude.
All
right, what do we got for news, homeboy? Tell me some news.
This is what we got to move on to. And one thing we can't let go, shouldn't let go, is we already know the Super Bowl halftime show has been announced. We talked about it. Yeah, we talked about this on the Chino Brothers, and the lineup is ridiculous.
Dude, we talked about it before they announced the lineup, bro.
Before it was
that was our prediction,
or anything. It was just like maybe some rumors floating around, whatever. But we talked about it, and this lineup is insane. So the lineup, Dr. Dre,
yes,
Snoop Dogg,
yes,
it's and then the local dude, who's the guy from Compton, that guy. I'll tell you in a second. I'm trying to find my notes on it. But
not J. Cole. It was Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, the guy that you tried to get me into that I was like, this isn't that good.
Can't
You're
do
like,
it.
Sorry. Sorry, I liked it.
Mary J. Blige.
Oh,
So I mean, it's a dope halftime show. But think about it. You think Eazy-E, Dr. Dre's right there. Right after that is Snoop Dogg, and then Kendrick Lamar for the Compton.
Bro,
right?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't care who's in the Super Bowl this year. I do not care. This halftime show, I'm telling you, I saw Snoop Dogg open up for a Mike Tyson-Roy Jones fight, and you do not know how many hits this man has until he starts going to work. Now multiply that by 4. Like, sorry, Kendrick Lamar, nobody cares if you're there. I don't care. I'm being honest. But God bless you for being there because you're from Compton. But my gosh, man, dude, the hits that you're gonna hear are gonna, dude. The only thing that can make it any better is if the Chino Brothers were there.
True.
Could you imagine?
We need to represent. That would be dope. And here's the thing. Going back, Eazy-E, obviously he passed away from complications from HIV/AIDS. Sucked. But his daughter's still around. And she's all like, you know what? This is great seeing Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige, all these people on stage. But what would really be nice is if Eazy-E got a shout out. That would be a dream come true. And you know what? You're thinking like, okay, her name's Ebby. She's got everything she could possibly want. But dude, obviously she loves her dad, Eazy-E. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they should do something because Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, you talked about this, had beef, the NWA beef, all that stuff. I mean, after
and the
Eazy-E left and all that
thing was there's a lot of conspiracy theory around how Eazy got AIDS.
Very murky there, very murky.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and Dr. Dre and Eazy-E, even in Straight Outta Compton, towards the end, they were trying to talk. They were trying to come,
Kid Frost said that Eazy-E got it from his acupuncturist. He
What was
said
that?
on Vlad TV.
Oh wow. So
Yeah, but at the same time, Kid Frost was probably like, "Please, somebody remember me. Please, somebody remember me." You know what I mean? God bless you, Kid Frost. Don't shoot
yeah,
me.
because you talked about that though too. I remember with the acupuncture thing. So who knows? But dude, come on, Eazy-E, Boys in the Hood. I play that all the time. And when I want to reminisce, that's one of my favorite all-time gangster rap albums. It was one of the first right around NBA times, especially like a solo artist. And, without Eazy-E, would there be Dr. Dre?
I think there'd
On
be
this
Dr.
level?
Dre. I think there would. Yeah.
But would he be on this level?
I think so, because things have a way of working themselves out one way or another, and he is super talented. However, I think they should do something like that Coachella thing they did with Tupac a couple years back. Remember, I think it was like 10 years ago,
the
where they made that
hologram?
hologram. They should do it
Yeah.
with Tupac and Eazy.
Easy.
How
That would be
sick would that
man.
be?
Yes, that would be
California
so
Love?
dope.
Could you
Yes.
imagine that? California love. Then here comes the hologram. Fresh out of jail, I'm out of bail. California dreaming. Send her to step on the stage. I'm hearing Gucci screaming. Oh my gosh, dude!
For money and alcohol.
I'd light up, bro. If they did that,
go
right?
nuts.
Yeah.
I'd go nuts for that too. And dude, so do you think it's cool of the daughter to ask for a shout out for Eazy-E?
I think it's not only cool, but I also think. But there was that thing about Eazy-E's estate screwing everybody out of money. That's the problem. That's my only problem. Is Eazy's estate.
And she's part of the estate.
Yeah, but maybe it's all past by now, because Ice Cube and Dre get along really well. And maybe that's all past. And I honestly know that those guys really lamented not seeing Eazy, with a reunion. Like, they really were working, trying to get a reunion going. But none of them went to the funeral except for Yella.
Yeah.
So
that's tough, man. That's tough. But they got to shout him out. She even says, it would be cool if I just heard a rip Eazy-E. Somebody say it.
How sick would it be, though, if it was, "We want Eazy," and then his hologram pops up? You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Now, the boys in the hood are always hard.
Oh, my gosh.
Come talking your trash, we'll pull your car. Ain't nothing in life but to be legit.
But don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said, Yo, Leroy.
Gangster. And then they all come out. How sick would that be? And then Cube comes out. "Yeah, that's me. Gangster. I'll say this. No matter what they do, I will be excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this show.
How many hits does Dre have? Dre
billion.
has a fazillion hits. How many hits does M have? A fazillion. How many hits does Mary J have? A fazillion. How many hits does Snoop have? A fazillion. Okay.
Yes.
Who is The Weeknd? Because I've never heard of this dude before. His music sucks. And you guys have the nerve to say that's a halftime show? The Chino Brothers literally would have been a better halftime show than that.
This is going to be a wild. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about Eminem. Yeah, that's right. You mentioned him. And I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't mention him. But after all this beef, but he's going to be on the halftime show too. So
how many hits does he have?
Now, here's the thing.
Hits.
Will there be a Rip Eazy-E shout out? Will there be a Mariah Carey Nick Cannon diss at the Super Bowl halftime show from Eminem?
I didn't think about that. But R.I.P. Eazy-E, man, I gotta say they should do it. You know what I mean? Like,
you got to.
It's easy, dude. Like, and granted, he was a very foul-mouthed rapper who talked about horrible things, but that was your homeboy, and he did start Ruthless Records, which did start your guy's career. So
yes,
that's what I say. I mean, what do I know? I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with those guys. Realistically, get that hologram with Eazy, get the hologram with Tupac, put it up there. Let us have something to remember for the rest of our lives. Because I promise you this: no matter what they do, we're gonna remember. We're gonna talk about this halftime show forever. We will always talk about this halftime show. This is the best halftime show I've ever heard of.
Definitely. I'm pumped for it. And it's about time. Come on, everybody listen to that music's probably in their 40s and 50s now. You know what I'm saying? Pretty chill for the most part. Not going to wild out and get all crazy and break stuff.
It's time for hip-hop music to get its due. That's the thing.
Yes, definitely.
It's time for people to be able to enjoy hip-hop music the same way they enjoy every other genre of music and not see it as ethnic music. See it as music for the people. The people can enjoy. Yes,
totally agree. Couldn't have said it better. And I'm looking forward to that, though, for sure. It'd be great. Who's missing on that lineup, though? Who's missing?
Cube.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice to get Cube on there too.
I bet
Oh
you
my
he pops
gosh.
up though.
Like a surprise guest.
I cannot imagine he won't. I cannot imagine he won't because he's got a fazillion hits.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. And it would fit perfectly. It would
Absolutely.
fit. What about MC Ren?
What's the next story?
Oh, that's perfect.
God bless you, Ren. Don't shoot me.
All right. So the next one is a Versuz. And this one, dude, there have been some pretty cool Versuz. You know, there was the Locks versus the Diplomats with the.
That was a good Versuz.
That was pretty good.
Even
yeah,
Fat Joe and Ja Rule. You know what I mean? As much decent.
It was fun. Yeah, it was pretty cool. The Red Man Method Man was more like a concert, but it was still cool to see all that stuff. But the next one, Big Daddy Kane versus KRS-One.
Man, that's really cool.
This is crazy, dude, because Big Daddy Kane, I kind of, after we talked about this, I was like, let me go listen to some of his old music. And he had some cool stuff. Here
really
I am, R-A-W. You know, I mean, he had that flamboyant, flagrant swagger attitude in his hip-hop, and that's what it kind of was about back then. Battling, talking about how good you are, how you're
super
the best.
And classy and handsome.
Yeah.
You know, he had that real handsome face and always wore the fresh gear from... what was that cat's name in New York? Used to make him all that clothing.
Like pimpish, like suits and stuff.
Mr. Mix? No, I don't know his name. Somebody put it in the comments or comment on it when you watch this video after I cut it up. But yeah, just a very classy guy. Always wore that dookie robe and always had the really fresh high top with the, really straight lines. Plus, great MC. I can't just talk about his fashion sense. Great MC.
Yes.
And then KRS, dude. Did you saw KRS in concert, didn't you, or no?
I want to say maybe. I honestly can't remember. If I remember anything about KRS-One is I liked them, but it was I don't know, dude. I think the one thing when you're kind of in radio and stuff, like I had, like as a DJ, radio club DJ, you kind of just went for the hits, had them stacked. You didn't really take a lot of time to listen to an album or an artist as much as
no, you're not going to play KRS
to.
at the club because it's going to kill the vibe.
You're not going to. You're not going to.
But I saw KRS at the Rock. He threw out the tennis balls. I actually had one, but I don't know where it went.
Tennis balls?
Sucks. Yeah, that's what he does at his shows. He writes KRS-One on a bunch of tennis balls and he throws them out because you can't buy it. It's something that you get at a show and you buy and you. It's
kind of cool.
Yeah. I know. Okay. I left it in Tucson when I moved. I don't know why. Like that would have been cool if I would have kept it forever. But I love KRS. I listened to KRS when I was probably when you were still living in Indiana. You know what I mean? Because he's old. So the first album I had of Boogie Down Productions was, I can't remember the name of the album, but he's standing looking out the window with a submachine gun. He has a Uzi submachine gun. He's looking out the window like Malcolm X.
Okay.
Oh, man, what was the name of the album? It was like, By All Means Necessary. That was the name of the album.
Okay.
Great album. Great MC. He's one of those conscious MCs. In fact, he calls himself the philosopher.
Yep.
Self-taught. He was homeless. I think KRS is great. I think Big Daddy Kane is great. I think this will be a good Versuz. I'm still not paying for it, but I'll watch the replay on YouTube. I'm not, dude.
Yeah, I got you. And the thing is, too, KRS-One, I was reading a little bit about him, watching some stuff. He's even said, like, dude, I got 20 plus albums out. I'm almost at 25 albums out. Big Daddy Kane's got 3 or 4. This is an interview before it was confirmed. So you're thinking, like, all right. So, and a lot of times the Versuz will some of them will just play the hit records and go from there and just kind of rap along to them. Sometimes I'm hoping this turns into an actual freestyle kind of battle.
That'd be dope.
Do you think Big Daddy Kane could hang with KRS-One in a freestyle battle?
I don't think so. I like Big Daddy Kane. I have nothing against Big Daddy Kane. God bless Big Daddy Kane and all the old school hip hop artists from that time frame. That was my favorite era of hip hop. Literally the best era for me personally. I love Run DMC. You can see behind me, I've got the Funko Pop Run DMC given to me by my staff because they know how much I love them. And Big Daddy Kane I thought he was a great artist, but there wasn't a lot out then. There was like, dude, I have to listen to hip hop and this is what's there, And I'm not saying he's not a good artist. Even KRS, like he's got probably 5 or 6 hits that I really like a lot, like Black Cop.
Step Into a World was kind of big. That whole beef stuff was great. Yeah.
So like that, I do like KRS for those, but realistically, neither of them I think were made to be mainstream artists. I think that it was a time when they're never going to play this on the radio. people don't know what hip hop is unless you're part of the culture, and they're old school. But I personally love both of them, and I will watch the replay on YouTube. I'm not paying for it. Dude, I'm not paying for the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight. Probably.
Oh wow.
I'm trying to think if I'm going to or not. But it's this Saturday.
What's that? $50?
I think it's 69. I think for 69 I might be in, because it's for the belt, and then whoever wins wants to unite the belt again, like Tyson did back in the 80s.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
yeah, so like that interests me about boxing right now. But seeing two old guys rap against each other, I don't know, dude. I don't think I'm gonna pay for it. Especially on Triller, like I don't want to support that company. I'm just like, you guys do weird things and you're kind of garbage.
Yeah, and KRS-One, dude, I'm interested and excited to see what he brings to the table, because I have a feeling he's going to do some stuff specifically for it. How hard is he going to go at Big Daddy Kane? That's what I'm thinking.
He's probably because he's kind of arrogant.
He's going to go softball, or is he going to go gloves?
I think he'll go hard.
Or his gloves off?
I don't want to say he's arrogant. That's not nice. I'll say this. It was funny, though, because I saw him at The Rock. And do you remember this? At The Rock, that microphone, that wireless microphone used to always go lower and lower and lower as the night would go on. And we'd have to crank the mic up louder and louder and louder.
Yeah.
And then finally it would be completely pegged all the way out, and it still wouldn't be that loud anymore. I don't know why it did that, because at the beginning of the night, the mic would be super loud. And at the end of the night, it would be lower and lower. Well, it did it for KRS. And he got super mad, and he's like, I want to see the man, or we'll call him a woman, who's in control of this microphone.
Who was it? Acid?
Yeah, Acid was laughing in the background. Acid let me in for free, dude. It was awesome. I wasn't working at the radio station anymore. I met this kid who was a hip hop head. He's like, dude, KRS-One's gonna be at the Rock tonight. I was like, what?
Was it full? Was it packed?
Yeah, it was packed. And then there was two girls that we both knew that were hanging out. They'd never heard of KRS, but they always were at the Rock. They're kind of like club
kind of regulars,
bugs or whatever.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
like grimy, buggy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I wouldn't mess around with you.
I should have went to that, man.
It was really nice, but it was when you and I weren't talking, so it wasn't like I was like, "Oh, I'm going to call Adley and invite him to see KRS-One," and then I met him.
Yeah.
So it was really neat. I met him, and he gave me the
tennis ball.
But he was hanging out with those two girls I was telling you about. That's how I met him, because those two girls really liked you and me a lot. I can't remember their names, but they weren't good girls by any stretch of the imagination. You know what I mean? Like, even at that stage of our lives, we were like, hi, no thank you. But he was like trying to get hooked up with them with his posse and stuff, and so like they introduced me to him. But so KRS, Big Daddy Kane, I'll watch it. I might watch it I don't even know if I'll watch it on YouTube. These things are like 3 hours, dude. I don't have that kind of time in my life.
Yeah, and dude, KRS-One, I mean, come on. I have a feeling on MC skills, it's gonna be KRS-One. On entertaining, kind of having a few hits. I mean, Big Daddy Kane had a couple of hits. Smooth Operator was another one.
But I think
I really played it on Groove still. Actually,
I think it's fun to watch him, like to watch that again. It's like watching Tyson fight again. You know what I mean? Like it's fun.
There's some nostalgia attached.
Yeah, but I also think in your mind it's more enjoyable than it's going to be once you see it. To be totally honest with you. So once again, probably
even the Red Man Method Man I watched on YouTube after, and I fast forwarded.
That's not good.
Kept moving up, and I'm like,
and they're really good, and you know all their songs too.
Yeah, they're dope. So,
all right, last news story.
Very cool. So,
last news story. What do we got, homeboy?
Our last one comes into our buddy the Biebs, Justin Bieber, and he wants to normalize weed. So you already know, because you work in this business, Mike, that he's got his pre-rolls out. It's called Peaches, and pre-rolls are basically cigarettes of weed, right?
Marijuana cigarettes, yes.
Yes, and he's working with this company, Palms. I was going to ask you if you knew who that was. It sounds like they're a pretty big company, but the joint line, the pre-roll joints, called Peaches. It's talking about a song he did maybe 6 months a year ago called Peaches. And he talks about it. But here's what's cool about it. A portion of every purchase is going to go to Veterans Walk and Talk. It's an advocacy group for veterans. And then, they're trying to help veterans with, getting marijuana, whatever they need to help them, feel better and stuff too. So I'm wondering, I mean, it's a great story. I think weed is becoming more normal. I think it's more acceptable.
Well, I think Justin Bieber, I don't know how I feel about that guy, because 1 week I like him, 1 week I don't like him. Like 1 week I'm like, hey man, this dude, he's trying to follow the Lord, and he seems like a solid dude. And then the next week I find out he's driving a Ferrari through a whorehouse in Vegas or something. I don't know if he did that. Don't quote me on that. You know what I mean? Like, he's always doing something that makes me like, oh my God. It's like President Trump, dude. You know, like one week you're like, hey, good for you, buddy. And then the next week he endorses like a skinhead group. You're like, what's wrong with you? Stop doing stuff like this. So yeah, I mean,
is it a street cred thing? Is he trying to be cool? Like, everybody's doing it? Or is it just a straight up money grab?
I just think it's hard for you mean the weed thing or
the weed thing? He's trying to get paid.
I think he probably believes in marijuana, but we'll get to that in one sec. I feel bad for Justin Bieber because he's been famous since he was 9. And like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, nobody's your real friend. Bro, you remember what it was like when radio was important and we were famous because radio was the only way you could listen to music? Yeah. None of those people were our friends. That's why we were blessed, is because you and I were friends before we'd gotten into it. So we knew that each other actually liked each other and not just because we were on radio.
Yeah, true.
Now multiply that by 1 trillion and you're Justin Bieber. That would be an awful... I would never be happy, you know? But getting back to the marijuana thing, what are your views on marijuana as a non-user? Like, what do you think about marijuana?
You know what? If you smoke, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? I think that there's places for it. There's times for it. I obviously don't partake because we've talked about me trying it. It's not a good idea. But I don't have a problem with it. You know, some of my best friends are just I'd rather them be smoking weed than not because they're different people. It's like, dude, chill. I just don't. I hope it doesn't lead to other things, and it rarely does it. But I don't have a problem with it. I think it might as well be legal. I think the money coming in is making more people rich instead of just the legal stuff. But it's also helping people like mentally. It really does help people. I just wonder. I question the Justin Bieber thing. Like, is it a money grab? Maybe.
I think he believes in marijuana, and like I don't believe in marijuana. We sell the Delta 8, we sell the Delta 10, we sell the THCO at my shop, and most episodes I'll be puffing on it. This episode I told Adlai, and at the beginning of the episode you can see, I didn't want to puff on it because I wanted to have more of a clear mind. So it's a weird thing because, like, you know me, bro, I have tremendous anger issues, and for those of you who don't know that about me or have never seen that happen, if something triggers me for some reason, I get angry with everything. I get angry at the whole world.
Yeah.
But if I take a couple puffs on the Delta, that kind of fades away, and I'm like, okay, I'm not mad anymore. I can watch television, and I'll do it when the kids are asleep. Just a couple puffs. Kids go to sleep. TV's a little funnier. Food tastes a little better.
Takes the edge off.
Yeah, it's kind of like having a beer or a glass of wine. Yep.
I was thinking that too. I was like, at the end of a busy day, I'll be like, I might partake in an adult beverage just to chill. But it's moderation.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is everything in moderation and knowing yourself well enough to know, all right, am I the most productive person I can be if I'm utilizing this? And if I'm not, how much do I need to cut back? I've been actually doing that myself recently, Adlai. Like, recently I've been not partaking because when we start selling it, I was like, you know what? Every night when the kids go to bed, why not? Boop, boop,
Yeah.
And I didn't have a problem with it at all. I still was productive, so on and so forth. But when things get really bared down for me, like, remember when you were doing the concert a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Remember how tough everything was? So that's how it is for me right now with Leo out. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, on times like that, it's probably not the smartest for me to utilize it, because I do kind of have a fog in the morning when I wake up. And I'd rather wake up in the morning. I like to wake up in the morning with new ideas, fresh thoughts, an excitement.
Able to focus.
Yeah, well, an excitement for the day and new ideas. And it works for the Chino Brothers, and it works for Tiny Box. Like, this whole week, Adlai knows this, I've been working very hard on Tiny Box, to the point where we had our pre-show meeting on Monday, and for the first time I wasn't prepared. And Adlai knows that I'm telling the truth, and I didn't want to make excuses. But with the immense amount of work I'm having to do, it's like, can I just go without using THC for a couple nights? Yeah. And then I get a better night's sleep, so on and so forth. Okay. Yeah. But then sometimes I get too into work, like because I grind, you know me. And you also know when I grind, sometimes I'll look at everybody else and be like, hey, you're not grinding as hard as me, blah, 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 blah. Well, then I puff a couple, puffs on the Delta 8 THC, and it mellows me out. And I go, oh, well, that person's probably working to their fullest capacity or whatever it is, I think.
Yeah.
So moderation, I think.
Yeah. What about, I just kind of picture him, his audience, talking about him being a star at a young age. It's just weird to picture his audience, his fan base being like, ooh, I'm going to get some peaches, because you think they're kind of proper.
They're probably older now.
But then again, if they've aged with them, so they're probably mid 20s to 30, just kind of like, okay.
Because he's like Justin Timberlake, you know what I mean? Justin Timberlake had that young audience, then he became a pop star, and like, the beer drinking, the craft beer drinking crowd listened to him. And I think marijuana is kind of going that direction where it's more like a craft, like it's a craft service. It's not, shake weed anymore.
You're looking for quality.
It's kind of like cigars or, but then, you have the shatter and like all that other stuff that like the people that it's like, bro, it's not meant for that. Just take a couple puffs and relax. Listen to some music.
Don't overdo it. So cool, man.
All right, well, guys, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Adlai, we are at 546 subscribers.
Woo!
I know, huh? Isn't that nice?
Chino Brothers Podcast.
Last time I talked to you, it was 326.
Hey, we're blowing up, man. This is crazy.
Nice? 200 extra followers since I talked to you last. So yeah, Chino Brothers Podcast on YouTube. Please follow, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, leave comments, because all the comments so far Adlai shouldn't read. But man, we really respect you guys watching this, and we had a really good time tonight. And we had a great time with you guys watching us go through memory lane and talking about beef and talking about news stories. So we'll see you on the next one, guys. And don't forget to check us out on YouTube. We got some extra content over there.